Hey guys, what's going on? So today we're going to be taking a look at treasure maps and seeing if it's actually worth you guys buying them and digging up the treasure to see if you can make a profit. So what we're going to do then is we're going to go and buy 10 high alt treasure maps, okay? So I'm going to pay around 50k per map just for the purpose of this video, okay? In general, you can get these for around 40k and sometimes people even list them for like 500 coins. Because they're not fully aware that treasure maps sell for a lot of money. But for the purpose of the video, we're just going to say we bought 10 for 50k because that's the average price we're buying them for, and then we're just going to say we spent 500k in total, okay? So the whole reason that we're actually going to be digging these up is in attempts to get the leads for the ancestral Breton style, okay? So that's just this big chunky guy who's 1vx in this little Zerg, okay? So obviously this is best in slot PvP attire now because you can clearly see him in the trailer 1vxing. Most of the motif prices are in and around 200k plus, and the chest is around 500k, okay? So there is a good chance to make a lot of money if you get, you know, lucky on a couple of maps. You can make a good profit, but we're just going to go see. We're going to open 10 treasure maps. We're going to see if we get any decent loot. We're going to see how many motifs, if any, we get, and we're just going to see if we make a profit or make a loss. So in the first one, we didn't actually get a motif. We got a couple of bits and bobs there, but nothing amazing. Much the same in the second one, so we didn't really get anything good. We didn't get a motif. We just got a couple of random bits and bobs, bits of gear. The third one, we don't get anything, so we're on 3 dry right now, which kind of sucks. So open 3, got no loot. So we're on our fourth one. We're going to open this up, and we're actually not going to get a style from this either. So again, this is now 200k in the bin if I were to stop at this point. So just keep that in mind. If you have a limited amount of funds, like, don't throw it all on the treasure maps, is probably my advice. So looking at our fifth one, again, we don't get anything. So 250k down the drain so far, no profit to be made. Here's our sixth treasure map, so 300k down, not a single style. So now even if we get a style, we're still going to be down around about 100k unless it's the chests, to be fair. We actually did pull a style on our seventh one. We got the shoulders. Now the shoulders is worth around about 220k if I remember correctly. I think I've actually sold a pair of these. So our eighth one here, we again don't get anything. So we're now down, you know, we're down quite a lot of money now. We've spent 400k already and we haven't got very much to show for it. So from the ninth map, again, we didn't get anything. So we've used 9 maps and got 1 motif so far. So again, we're down pretty bad here. We're down over 200k if we really look at it that way. So if this last one doesn't have something good in it, we're down quite a lot of money. So fortunately, the last box actually had a motif in it. It was Breton boots. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go price check everything just to double check the prices. From what I think we may have lost money on these 10 maps. And there was a good chance that we're going to be down a lot more if we didn't get anything on our 10th map. But that's just the way it goes. It is RNG. You could literally get 10 motifs in a row or you can get 0. It's RNG. I think the ratio I found here is about 1 in 5. Seems about right, to be honest with you. 1 in 5 seems about reasonable, but it's not a science. It's not exact. So you could literally do 10 of these and get no money. So don't invest all your money. So whenever you actually pull one of the style leads out, what I would do is just right away switch to whatever character does your scrying and immediately go and do the lead. So essentially, as far as I'm aware, you can't get the same lead twice. So if you have an active shoulders lead, it sort of deteriorates your chances of getting another lead from the same maps. So you pretty much want to go dig them up as soon as you get one and then just go and do the rest of your maps, okay? So we've got 2 motifs now. So what we're going to do is we're going to go and price check them, and I'm going to show you how to price check things that are kind of new and aren't exactly accurate on the price checker websites, okay? So what you want to do is you want to just go over to Mournhold. That's pretty much the best trade city, I think, across nearly every platform. You just want to go search for your item. So I'm going to be looking here for Breton boots, okay? So pretty much established there aren't any in Mournhold. I've checked all the traders. There aren't any listed in Mournhold. So what I'm going to do now is go to Elden Root. I checked all of them. There was only 1 listed. I was listed for 427k. So that lets me know that there literally aren't any. So if I list lower than this, someone would generally buy mine first. And if I'm going to list in Mournhold, it's a better city in general than Elden Root. So essentially, if I list mine for around 290, the boots, I think someone should buy it because it's over 100k cheaper than the only other one that I found. So that's kind of a benefit, you know, you kind of get to dictate the price a little bit because they're so rare. We're going to do the same thing for the shoulders. So again, we're going to check around for the shoulders, but there are some in Mournhold. So the cheapest we saw was 250. We want ours to sell somewhat quickly because we've seen they're up for a couple of days. So we're going to chop about 30k off the price and go for 220. Hopefully that's either going to make someone who wants to just flip the item, buy it, or someone who wants the item, buy ours because it's the cheapest. And I would always advise, especially with this kind of treasure map thing, is to dump your motifs pretty fast, you know, be the cheapest on the market. The last thing you want is to be holding these for a week or two and the price depreciate. You just want to literally get rid of these on the day if possible. So we've listed the shoulders for 220 and we listed the boots for 290. Okay, so that's bringing us up to 510k. Okay, so technically we're profiting around 10k if we don't take into consideration trader tax. And also, you know, there are some other items we got, but the mass majority of the bulk money is going to come from these motifs. So if you get really unlucky with the motifs, it doesn't matter how much other stuff you get, you're gonna lose money on the high ESO treasure maps. Okay, so what I can do with the additional stuff is go to my house. Essentially I'm just going to deconstruct it. As far as I'm aware, none of these sets are worth anything. They're not really, you know, used in PvP or PvE from what I know, the overland sets anyway. I did price check a couple of items and they're like 1-2k, so it really isn't going to make much of a difference. So I'm just going to deconstruct him for the star material. Okay, because obviously everyone wants to use the furnishings right now. You need the star material to make the furnishings. Those are actually in and around 7k each on my server, but I'm going to sell them for 5 to get rid of them quickly. Again, you don't want to be holding on to things so the price goes down. So essentially we spent 500k on the treasure maps. We made 510 from the motifs in general, and we wouldn't necessarily have made that much, but we did get the boots and they were quite rare. It could have been, for example, maces, which is only going to be 100k on this server. So again, it really depends on what motif you do get. So this could have easily been a loss, but it happened to be a profit. And again, it could have been more of a profit if we got the chests. So there's two ways to look at it. You know, it could have been the chest, it could have been a mace. So it could have went higher or lower, but you know, I think this is pretty average and indicative of what you'll see. We then got about 15k for just our star materials as well. So again, we made maybe 25k at a maximum, but then we have to take into consideration trader tax on 510k worth of items, so probably breaking even. Okay, so essentially what my take on treasure maps is going to be, especially the brand new high ESO ones, is going to be essentially this is a fun little gamble. Okay, so I wouldn't call this a money making technique, I wouldn't call this a money maker, I would just call this a fun gamble that can make you money or can lose you money. Okay, it's pretty much like going to a casino and throwing your money at the table. Okay, essentially you can come back with 500k profits, you can come back with 500k losses from 10 treasure maps. So it's literally RNG. It's not something I would recommend doing if you have a small cash stack. If you're already rich and you're bored and you just feel like, you know, you want to make money like quickly and you want a bit of like loot box potential, yeah, sure, go for this. But for the majority of people who don't have all that much money, if you get a high ESO treasure map, I'd probably just sell the map to guarantee the 50-60k from it. And if you happen to find one for like a bargain, if you find the map for 500 coins, again, nothing's stopping you from putting that back on the market for 50k. You don't have to do it. Okay, so essentially if you do manage to get one dropped, I would just list it on the market for the guaranteed money. And if you were thinking about buying a load of these to try and make money, again, just be aware of the risks, and it probably isn't a money maker, it's just a bit of fun. Okay, so anyway guys, that's the video. Hopefully it's been helpful, hopefully you guys learned a lot. Hopefully you guys don't go blow all your money on treasure maps unless you're already pretty rich, in which case have fun. But yeah, if you find it helpful, leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you next time.